Men over 50 are being fed a lie, and it's destroying their confidence before they even pick up a dumbbell. The lie is simple. You can't build muscle without TRT, and men are believing it. But if TRT were the only way to build muscle after 50, then explain why so many men on TRT are still soft, weak, out of shape, exhausted, and even frustrated. Let that sink in for a second. All right, before we go any further though, stick with me until the end because I'm gonna give you a free starter guide that will help you boost testosterone naturally and start building muscle the right way. It's gonna cost you nothing and it will give you exactly what you need to start making progress today. Most men today have been conditioned to believe that after 50, your best years are behind you unless you're injecting testosterone. But the truth is this, your results at 50, 60, and even older depend far more on your habits than your hormone level. And let me make this clear, I am not anti-TRT. I will never judge a man who uses TRT under supervision. If your levels are clinically low, if you've been tested, if your drive, mood, sleep, libido, and energy have taken a hit, and TRT helps you feel like yourself again, I support that 1000%. But we also need to be honest about something. We're living in the weakest generation of men in history. The lowest testosterone levels, the lowest discipline, the lowest resilience, the lowest masculinity we've ever seen. This is not the generation of our fathers and grandfathers. Their testosterone was naturally higher. Their lives were physically harder. They worked, they moved, they trained, they lived active lifestyles. Today, we sit more, we sleep less, we stress more, we eat garbage foods, we drown in digital stimulation, we live in comfort, convenience, softness. And now we wonder why men feel weak, sluggish, depressed, inflamed, anxious, and out of shape. But instead of fixing their habits, men blame everything and everyone for their situation. Instead of building discipline, they make excuses. Instead of taking ownership, it's easy to just point fingers. And this is where the accusations start. Because when a man sees someone in better shape than him, someone more muscular, more athletic, more disciplined, he feels threatened. He feels insecure. He feels exposed. So he protects his ego by saying, that dude is on TRT. That guy's on steroids. No way he's natural. I look that way too if I took steroids. Now, why is that? Because if he convinces himself that the other guy only looks that way because of drugs, then he doesn't have to confront the hard truth. He doesn't train hard. He doesn't eat as clean. He doesn't stay consistent. He doesn't do the work. He doesn't have the discipline, the drive, or the grit that it takes. It's easier to say he cheats than to admit I'm not committed. Not all men are created equal when it comes to discipline, desire, or drive. Some men spend decades building their bodies, decades of clean eating, disciplined training, consistent habits, controlled body fat, relentless work. Other men barely make it 2 weeks before they quit. So yes, it's easy for weak-minded men to accuse anyone who looks better than them on being on TRT because it keeps their ego safe. All right, now let me shift gears here and share something important about my own training, because this is where I want you to see what's actually possible. I never wanted to look like a giant bodybuilder. I always wanted an athletic body, lean, explosive, mobile, strong, and powerful. That's why I didn't chase heavy deadlifts or low rep back squats. I didn't want a wide waist, wide hips, or giant glutes. I trained like an athlete, higher rep squats, unilateral movements. I prioritize hypertrophy and explosive movement patterns. Training designed to build muscle while keeping me athletic. That was my goal my entire life. And I maintained 180 to 185 for the past 15 years because that's where I feel and look my best. The only time I ever pushed up to 205 pounds, I walked past the mirror and I hated what I saw. I didn't feel athletic, I didn't look athletic, and I looked like a stiff bodybuilder. And I said right then, this isn't me. And as a coach who trained thousands of men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, not one single man has ever told me he wanted to look like a giant mass monster. They want to be lean, strong, aesthetic, athletic, confident, and fully functional. And that body is absolutely attainable naturally. But here's the truth you can't ignore. Whether your testosterone is high, low, or somewhere in the middle, the formula does not change. TRT does not replace discipline. TRT does not replace clean nutrition. It does not replace hard training. It does not replace sleep. It does not replace daily movement. It does not replace consistency. So if you're on TRT and you're still not eating well or training hard, you will not build muscle. If you're not on TRT, but you master those fundamentals, you absolutely will build muscle after 50. So here's a real formula you need to follow, the one that actually works. You need to train hard 4 days per week, not random half-assed workouts. Hard, intentional lifting using good form, controlled tempo, and deliberate effort. And focus on compound movements, horizontal pushes and pulls, vertical pushes and pulls, squat patterns, hip hinges, and unilateral work. These movements give the best return for your time and energy. Also train within 1 to 2 reps in reserve. That means the last reps need to be difficult. They require focus, but they stay clean and controlled. And use progressive overload. Track your exercises, track your weights, track your reps, track your tempo. Because if you're not tracking your workouts, you're not progressing. Also eat disciplined meals. Lead with protein at every single meal. Protein drives muscle repair, recovery, and even fat loss. And get your essential fats, olive oil, eggs, salmon, nuts, because fats support testosterone and hormone function. And keep body fat under control, because high body fat suppresses testosterone and increases inflammation. If you have high body fat, your muscle building potential drops dramatically. And carb cycling works incredibly well for men over 50. It's what I use with most of my guys. Eat complex carbs on workout days, pull back on carbs during rest days. This keeps you insulin sensitive and prevents fat gain while building muscle simultaneously. You also need to prioritize sleep. Sleep is where testosterone rises. Sleep is where growth hormone is released. Sleep is where muscle is repaired, all crucial for building more muscle. If you're only sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night, you're limiting your own progress. You also need to move daily. Walk, do yard work, play with your grandkids, your kids. Just move, man. Daily movement improves blood flow, insulin sensitivity, recovery, and hormone function. And you have to manage stress. Read, pick up a book, man. Pray, meditate, journal. Spend time with people who bring peace into your life. Stress will destroy testosterone and it slows recovery more than most men realize. Every man who masters this list builds muscle, TRT or not. And every man who refuses to master it stays stuck, TRT or not. Now, before we wrap up, I want to give you something that will help you take immediate action. I put together a free test boosting guide specifically for men over 50. It's a real actionable guide with foods, habits, routines, nutrients, and strategies to naturally support testosterone and help you build muscle at any age. You can download it using the link in the description below. Now, also, if this video helped you, challenged you, or motivated you, send it to another man who needs to hear this. And as always, thanks so much for watching my video. Get busy, get after it, and God bless.